And welcome to Inhale, a night of art and education on the impact of smoking and vaping in youth. My name is Braderick Morrison, and I am the tobacco-free coordinator for Genung County. Tonight will be filled with skits, songs, dances, poetry, and music, all in an effort to educate the community on the effects of smoking and vaping in youth. I'd like to think that Inhale was an original idea, and to be fair, it was to some extent, but I am not the first person to combine education with theater. In the second grade, I played the planet Jupiter in a skit about the planets. To this day, I still remember that the Earth can fit 3 times into the red spot on Jupiter. Now, taking this concept and expanding upon it, the idea came to me as I was sitting in a session at a CADCA forum presentation in DC. CADCA stands for Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. During that session, I had an aha moment of utilizing my theater experience to create an educational learning opportunity for not only youth, but the community as well, in a way that they can enjoy and also learn something. Thinking about my experience as I was in the second grade, I did some research and found that there have been so many other schools that had understood the vaping epidemic that we are in and found theater as a way to educate the community and get them involved. Now, I'm sure that most of you know already that smoking is bad. It can lead to cancer, COPD, heart disease, stroke, the list goes on. What tonight is going to focus on, though, is how Big Tobacco uses marketing in order to get teens to try smoking or vaping, and how if they do try it, they're more likely to continue smoking or vaping as an adult. Tonight sends a powerful message to those involved in this production and to their peers. All teens are at risk of experimenting with cigarettes or vapes, and by providing this outlet and this event tonight, we can reach them to prevent the early uptake of cigarettes, reduce the rates of smoking in adolescents developing into adult smokers, and reduce the overall smoking population in Genung County. In your programs, you will find a palm card that looks like this. This discusses the dangers of flavored commercial tobacco products. The word inhale was chosen because while you are watching tonight's performance, breathe all of this in. The word, and think about the facts that you are learning. Before each performance, you will hear a fact about Big Tobacco and how it has impacted our youth. After this production, if you choose to support protecting youth from the tobacco-flavored trap, please sign these palm cards and return them to us. Madison Sheely, who will be our MC for this evening, will be at the back of the stage collecting those cards. Your support tonight creates the change that we want to see for a smoke-free Genung. Please enjoy the talent that we have shared with you tonight. And here is your host for this evening and our MC, Madison Sheely.
For decades, the tobacco industry has aggressively marketed menthol-flavored products to specific communities, leading to unequal death rates and disease in these groups. Menthol-flavored tobacco products are smoother and better tasting, making it easier to start smoking and harder to quit. Menthol is not just a flavor. It's a way for Big Tobacco to attract and addict new smokers, and there's nothing just about it. Learn more about the impact of Big Tobacco's manipulative tactics on our communities and how you can take action to help end this injustice at notjustmenthol.org. Please give a round of applause as we begin tonight's performance for the poem titled On Quitting by Edgar Allan Albert Guest, performed by Leah Spence.
How much grit do you think you've got? Can you quit a thing that you like a lot? You may talk of pluck, it's an easy word, and where you go, it is often heard. But can you tell to a jot or guess just how much courage you now possess? You may stand to trouble and keep your grin, but have you tackled self-discipline? Have you ever issued commands to you to quit the things that you like to do? And then, when tempted and sorely swayed, those rigid orders have you obeyed? Don't boast of your grit till you've tried it out, nor prate to men of your courage stout. for it's easy enough to retain a grin. In the face of a fight, there's a chance to win. But the sort of grit that is good to own is the stuff you need when you're all alone. How much grit do you think you've got? Can you turn from joys that you like a lot? Have you ever tested yourself to know how far with yourself your will can go? If you want to know if you have grit, just pick out a joy that you like and quit. It's bully sport and it's open fight. It will keep you busy both day and night. For the toughest kind of game you'll find is to make your body obey your mind. And you never will know what is meant by grit unless there's something you've tried to quit.
Smoking kills about 28,000 adult New Yorkers every year, with about 75,000 adults in New York State living with serious smoking-related illness. Tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable disease and death in the United States. Nearly all tobacco products use begins during youth and young adulthood. Tobacco control programs play a crucial role in the prevention of many chronic conditions such as cancer, heart disease, and respiratory illness. Comprehensive tobacco prevention and cessation programs like the one in New York State prevent kids from starting to smoke, helps adult smokers quit, and serves as a counter to the ever-present negative influence of the tobacco industry. Now please give a round of applause for our next performance called Smoke Scenes, a short skit by Nick Zago, performed by Leah Spence and Lucas Shealy.
Short plays about smoking in about 10 minutes. Go.
Do you smell smoke?
What? No.
Oh.
And
scene. Do you smell smoke?
no, not at all. Fine.
And scene. Do you smell smoke?
No.
I could swear I smelled something burning.
And
scene. Do you smell smoke?
no.
I could swear I smelled something burning.
You're crazy. There's something wrong with you. You got problems. Forget this. I want a divorce.
And scene. Do you smell smoke?
No. For the last time. No. No.
And scene. Do you smell smoke?
I love you.
And scene.
Mind if I smoke?
No, go right ahead.
Thanks.
I used to be a smoker too. Love the smell.
I really appreciate it.
No problem. So I was wondering, maybe I could.
Taxi.
And
And
scene.
mind if I smoke?
No, go right ahead.
Sorry, I know, nasty habit, but I love it. If I could smoke all day, I would. I could be on a desert island with just me and my smokes. I just need a break, get away from it all. By myself for a while, just me alone and my smokes. Nobody, you know? Desert island, seriously, me, myself, and I, and my smokes. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. So would you like some company?
And
scene.
mind if I smoke?
Not at all. I'm a smoker too.
You smoke? Fantastic.
Let's smoke.
Yes, let us smoke.
Let's smoke and smoke and smoke.
Let's smoke until we cannot smoke anymore.
Let's smoke until we die.
Do you have a light?
Oh, shoot.
Taxi.
And scene.
Mind if I smoke?
No? Yes? Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I do care about my health. But I'm sure one little smoke isn't going to kill me. I'm conflicted. And scene.
Care for a smoky?
An Oscar Mayer pork sausage, you mean?
Yeah, a little smoky. An hors d'oeuvre for one. Or two.
Love those smokies.
It's a party in a can.
Now, in Turkey.
And
scene.
care for
Here for a smoky, by Sophocles.
citizens, I will find the smoky within the play.
You are the one you seek.
Yes, I am. I could eat, but I could not taste.
Oh, cursed man, the gods will punish you. Cannot you see we are vegans?
And
scene. Here for a smoky by Shakespeare.
do you care for smoky, old bodkin?
Rogue, I would lift my dress to a catfish.
Come then, you ADR fishmonger.
Words, words, words. Vegan am I. Get thee gone.
By Edward Albee.
What a dumpy can of smokies. Who said that? What a dumpy can of smokies.
I don't know.
Yes, you do, you milk toast good for nothing.
I killed him. Our son was vegan and I killed him.
Sam Shepard? You couldn't even steal a can of smokies.
You don't think I can steal Smoky? I can steal Smoky. I can fill this kitchen with Smokies.
Arthur Miller.
For God's sake, Dad, your Smokies are a dime a dozen and so are you.
Tennessee Williams.
Well, your Smokies, Laura. And so, goodbye.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Midnight, and the Smokies are burning. Absurdism. Care for a Smoky?
should really go get some Smokies.
Yes, we should.
Maybe tomorrow?
Yes. Realism. Care for a Smoky?
Why wouldn't I want a Smoky?
Existentialism. Care for a Smoky?
If I am nothing else, I am a Smoky.
Surrealism. Care for a Smoky?
Fishy, fishy, fish, fish. Melted clock.
Philosophical. Care for a Smoky?
What do you mean by Smoky?
Actual. Care for a Smoky?
Actually, no.
And C. One person historical figure, place. Nixon. Go.
I am not a Smoky.
Martin Luther King.
I have a Smoky.
Lincoln.
Let my Smokies go.
That's Moses.
Is it?
Yes. 407 Smokies. Listen, Martin.
Here. Give me 3 at a time.
Beyonce, Paris Hilton, and that guy over there.
Smoky. Smoky. That's hot. Smoky. How's that? Here, I got one. God.
God? Let's start at the beginning.
In the beginning, there was a Smoky.
No, I mean, you smell smoke.
Okay. Do you smell smoke?
Why, yes. Yes, I do.
And C.
New York State Reality Check declares October 13th as Seen Enough Tobacco Day to highlight the need to protect kids from the billions of dollars of the tobacco marketing in places where children can see it. The 13th day was selected to underscore the alarming fact that the average age of a new smoker is 13 years old. That means I could have been a smoker for 2 years by now. In this next performance, I will be reading a book called Jack, Jill, and Tobacco. It's a story of Jack and Jill getting an after-school treat with an unexpected guest. Let's join together, take action now, and start getting tough, because if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's our kids have seen enough. Learn how to get involved at seenenoughTobacco.org. Jack, Jill, and Tobacco. Jack and Jill went to the store to grab an after-school treat. They walked in the door and through the aisles in search of something to eat. Jack chose crackers and Jill got gum, and her favorite flavor, strawberry. They made their way to the cash register, and that's when things got scary. From there in front, all around the counter, with no attempt to disguise, were bold and bright tobacco promotions in view of their little eyes. There were rows of products and flashy signs and buy one, get one frees, all right there in places where it's impossible not to see. So while Jack and Jill left the store and continued on their way, Big Tobacco may have just recruited 2 new smokers that day. But here's the part of tobacco marketing that truly is obscene. The average age of a new smoker is the tender age of 13. Maybe you've never noticed or just don't want to believe it, but billions are spent on discounts and promotions where kids can see it. So across New York State, it's time for us to work hard and face the truth. Tobacco promotions are a cause of smoking among youth. Let's join together, take action now, and start getting really tough, because if there's one thing we all agree on, it's our kids have seen enough. According to the U.S. Surgeon General, advertising and promotional activities by tobacco companies have been shown to cause the onset and continuation of smoking among adolescents and young adults. It's time to write a better ending to the story. Visit seenenoughTobacco.org to learn more about this campaign. Cigarettes aren't good for us. That's hardly news. We've known about the dangers of smoking for decades, but how exactly do cigarettes harm us, and can our bodies recover if we stop? In this TED Ed YouTube video, Krishna's suit here details what happens when we smoke and when we quit.
Cigarettes aren't good for us. That's hardly news. We've known about the dangers of smoking for decades. But how exactly do cigarettes harm us? Let's look at what happens as their ingredients make their way through our bodies and how we benefit physically when we finally give up smoking. With each inhalation, smoke brings its more than 5,000 chemical substances into contact with the body's tissues. From the start, tar, a black resinous material, begins to coat the teeth and gums, damaging tooth enamel and eventually causing decay. Over time, smoke also damages nerve endings in the nose, causing loss of smell. Inside the airways and lungs, smoke increases the likelihood of infections, as well as chronic diseases like bronchitis and emphysema. It does this by damaging the cilia, tiny hair-like structures whose job it is to keep the airways clean. It then fills the alveoli, tiny air sacs that enable the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the lungs and blood. A toxic gas called carbon monoxide crosses that membrane into the blood, binding to hemoglobin and displacing the oxygen it would usually have transported around the body. That's one of the reasons smoking can lead to oxygen deprivation and shortness of breath. Within about 10 seconds, the bloodstream carries a stimulant called nicotine to the brain, triggering the release of dopamine and other neurotransmitters, including endorphins, that create the pleasurable sensations which make smoking highly addictive. Nicotine and other chemicals from the cigarette simultaneously cause constriction of blood vessels and damage their delicate endothelial lining, restricting blood flow. These vascular effects lead to thickening of blood vessel walls and enhance blood platelet stickiness, increasing the likelihood that clots will form and trigger heart attacks and strokes. Many of the chemicals inside cigarettes can trigger dangerous mutations in the body's DNA that make cancers form. Additionally, ingredients like arsenic and nickel may disrupt the process of DNA repair, thus compromising the body's ability to fight many cancers. In fact, about 1 of every 3 cancer deaths in the United States is caused by smoking. And it's not just lung cancer. Smoking can cause cancer in multiple tissues and organs, as well as damaged eyesight and weakened bones. It makes it harder for women to get pregnant, and in men, it can cause erectile dysfunction. But for those who quit smoking, there's a huge positive upside with almost immediate and long-lasting physical benefits. Just 20 minutes after a smoker's final cigarette, their heart rate and blood pressure begin to return to normal. After 12 hours, carbon monoxide levels stabilize, increasing the blood's oxygen carrying capacity. A day after ceasing, heart attack risk begins to decrease as blood pressure and heart rates normalize. After 2 days, the nerve endings responsible for smell and taste start to recover. Lungs become healthier after about 1 month, with less coughing and shortness of breath. The delicate, hair-like cilia in the airways and lungs start recovering within weeks and are restored after 9 months, improving resistance to infection. By the 1-year anniversary of quitting, heart disease risk plummets to half as blood vessel function improves. 5 years in, the chance of a clot forming dramatically declines and the risk of stroke continues to reduce. After 10 years, the chances of developing fatal lung cancer go down by 50%, probably because the body's ability to repair DNA is once again restored. 15 years in, the likelihood of developing coronary heart disease is essentially the same as that of a non-smoker. There's no point pretending this is all easy to achieve. Quitting can lead to anxiety and depression resulting from nicotine withdrawal. But fortunately, such effects are usually temporary, and quitting is getting easier thanks to a growing arsenal of tools. Nicotine replacement therapy through gum, skin patches, lozenges and sprays may help wean smokers off cigarettes. They work by stimulating nicotine receptors in the brain and thus preventing withdrawal symptoms without the addition of other harmful chemicals. Counseling and support groups, cognitive behavioral therapy, and moderate intensity exercise also help smokers stay cigarette-free. That's good news, since quitting puts you and your body on the path back to health.
Big Tobacco's customers are dying, but instead of pulling their products off shelves, they're recruiting a new generation of smokers. Tobacco companies spend enormous resources tracking the behaviors and preferences of youth under the age of 21 in order to get young people to start smoking. The song you are about to hear is about the ways we look for love in things that are perhaps not love, and how attempts to feel less alone can sometimes isolate us more. Kids see, kids notice, kids remember. In fact, Kids are more than twice as likely as adults to notice and remember retail tobacco marketing. Each year in New York State, 4,900 youth become daily smokers, and 28,000 youth in New York State, currently under 18, will ultimately die premature from smoking. Learn more about big tobacco and the industry's way to it addicts youth and at tobaccofreenewyorkstate.org. Now please give a round of applause for Leona Tyler performing Hunger. For decades, Big Tobacco has appeared as an ally of the LGBTQIA+ community, but their presence at our events and in our culture is not about support. It's about aggressively marketing tobacco products. LGBT young adults are nearly 2 times as likely to use tobacco as their non-LGBT peers. As tobacco company created a marketing plan targeting gay people, they called it Project Scum. Tobacco use is a social justice issue. They attempt to be supportive of the community, all the while selling their products to the LGBTQ+ community and causing them to be addicted at a higher rate. And they do this because this group and other marginalized groups, such as the Black, Brown, and Indigenous people of color, are often disproportionately impacted by health inequities, including mental health issues. Oftentimes, people who deal with mental health issues, like social anxiety, turn to something to alleviate that stress, like smoking or vaping. Smokers with elevated social anxiety are more likely to be daily smokers than those with less social anxiety. Those with social anxiety disorder demonstrate a greater likelihood of nicotine dependence and heavy smoking compared to individuals without. Now please enjoy this dance performed by Gigi Sophisticated, portraying that mental health battle with nicotine to the song Why Am I Like This by Orla Garland.
Last night I smoked a cigarette. My dad would have been so upset. Then we got tattoos by the coast, and I just stood there like a ghost. I saw a girl crying on the train. Gin and tonic from a can to ease the pain. And I never asked if she was okay. She just got up and walked away. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I? Why am I like this? 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 Why am I like Maybe I'm an old soul trapped in a young body. Maybe you don't really want me there at your birthday party. I'll be there in the corner, thinking right over every single word of the conversation we just had.
Nat King Cole was a heavy smoker. After collapsing in Las Vegas, he was finally convinced to seek medical help and was diagnosed with lung cancer. Cole vowed that if he recovered, he would go on television to urge people to stop smoking. Unfortunately, he never got the chance, and the LOVE singer died the day after Valentine's Day. The U.S. tobacco industry has a long documented history of collaborating with the U.S. film industry to promote smoking and tobacco brands. Tobacco companies embraced Hollywood in 1927, the year of the first talking picture. From the late 1930s through the 1940s, 2 out of 3 top adult movie stars advertised cigarettes while also smoking on screen. In 1 year alone, tobacco companies agreed to pay stars at least $3.3 million in today's dollars for their advertising services. Most of these cross-promotional deals were brokered by the large movie studios, which held their stars under ironclad contracts. In return, the movie studios gained national ad campaigns promoting the studio stars and plugging their latest movies, all paid for by the tobacco companies. Studios and stars changed cigarette brands as different tobacco campaigns rolled through Hollywood. Fast forward, the amount of smoking in top-grossing movies rose to 3,618 incidents in 2019, the most in more than a decade. And theater tobacco impressions more than doubled over the past 5 years, from 9.3 billion in 2015 to 23.7 billion in 2019. The popularity of streaming has boomed over the past years with shows like Stranger Things, Ozark, and Outer Banks exposing teens and young adults to hundreds of tobacco depictions. Our final performance of the night is by River Ridenberg. as he plays Nature Boy by Nat King Cole on the piano.
For the amazing talent of Inhale. Tonight, we have learned a lot about big tobacco strategies to aggressively market their deadly products to youth. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. You know, there is a lot going on. There's a little homecoming game that's happening. So I appreciate you all being here and supporting this very important matter at hand. We have learned that a third of underage smoking experimentation is attributed to tobacco advertising. Tobacco ads suggest that smoking can fulfill powerful psychological needs like popularity, peer acceptance, and a positive self-image. Today, 4 out of 5 youth smokers will become adult smokers. Since half of all adult smokers will die from smoking, tobacco companies must have a constant stream of new recruits to stay profitable. The tobacco industry knows that nearly 90% of smokers started smoking before their 18th birthday. We learned that yesterday, October 13th, was Seen Enough Tobacco Day because the average age of a new smoker in New York State is 13 years old. That day highlights the need to protect children from the billions of dollars that big tobacco spends on marketing in places where kids can see it. The tobacco industry spends an obscene amount of money on tobacco marketing, but did you know that they spend over 90% of it on marketing in local gas stations, convenience stores, and grocery stores? The reason for that is 70% of young people visit those convenience stores at least once a week, and so they're exposed to a tremendous amount of tobacco marketing. Tobacco companies also entice those retailers with lucrative contracts that allow them to control how their products are marketed in those stores. This includes that large, colorful wall of tobacco products that are directly behind the cash register, where everyone, including kids, can see them. Advertisements are placed at children's eye levels, they are placed near candy, and according to the Surgeon General's 2012 report, tobacco marketing in stores is one of the primary causes of youth smoking. So, what do they think of their customers? They're making money off of these people, so they should be saying something good, right? Big Tobacco has spent years denying that they target their youth with their marketing. I'm going to read some quotes to you that are straight from the source of Big Tobacco industry. Quote, "If the tobacco companies really stopped marketing to children, tobacco companies would be out of business in 25 to 30 years because they won't have enough customers to stay in business." End quote. Quote, "If children don't like to be in a smoky room, they'll leave. At some point, they begin to crawl." End quote. Finally, "We don't smoke that. Well, we just sell it. We reserve that right to smoke for the young, the poor, the black, and the stupid." End quote. The last quote was from R.J. Reynolds, a company owned by one of the big tobacco companies, whose former CEO testified under oath that saying he didn't believe nicotine was addictive. In addition to stores, we've learned that the Big Tobacco has known the power of media for decades and has a long history with the entertainment industry. The CDC estimates that taking smoking out of films rated for children would save 18% of the 5.6 million young people alive today who will otherwise die of tobacco illnesses. That's about 1 million lives, or 1 out of every 13 children in the United States. I support a smoke-free community because I have seen firsthand what smoking can do. My grandfather, like so many long-term smokers, was diagnosed with COPD, a condition involving constriction of the airways and difficulty or discomfort in breathing. My mother has smoked on and off since she was 15, making her part of the almost 90% of adult daily smokers who started smoking by the age of 18. Whenever I walk outside, I notice a cigarette butt within 10 feet of me. The reason for that? Cigarette butts are the most littered item in the world, with 4.5 trillion cigarettes discarded each year worldwide. I don't want to live in a world where toxic chemicals are littering our grounds. I don't want to live in a world where someone's mom is another statistic. I don't want to see another family member diagnosed with something that could have been prevented. This is why I support a smoke-free community. If you support it, please consider signing those palm cards. Vaping is the latest epidemic from the big tobacco company to get people to start smoking commercial tobacco products. And flavors are the way that they do it. Flavors, including menthol, are a key factor in attracting youth and young adults to tobacco products. If you support protecting youth from the tobacco flavor trap, please consider signing those palm cards and returning them to Madison, who will be at the door on your way out. As you have seen tonight, our future is in good, talented hands. So if you want to support them, let's create a smoke-free Genung together. Thank you for coming.